everybody, Leo here. Yes, today we have Nathan Schokker, one of the best people that I know, honestly. We're gonna be talking about leadership, we're gonna be talking about, of course, business and how to fire people. So, you wanna stay until the end for that one. So, I can't wait to show it to you, so...
See you there.
Ciao. Finally, I have you on camera. Okay, so finally. Okay, welcome back, everybody at home, watching or listening on the podcast, Real Talk, another episode here. I'm not saying which one is the episode because I'm going to shuffle them around. It's going to be random, so I'm going to keep you interested in what's happening. The laugh that you hear is from my long-time friend, because now it's probably like 4 or 5 years that we know each other.
Absolutely.
Nathan Schokker.
Got it in one.
How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Or would I say buongiorno?
Good morning.
You are dressed like a very old-fashioned English gentleman.
I'm dressed like I didn't go home the night before.
Okay, for everybody listening and watching, Nathan is the CEO of, and also the owner of a company. What's the name of the company?
Talio.
And Talio, correct me if I'm wrong, it's commercial or industrial cleaning business.
Yeah, correct.
And we're going to be talking about it because this podcast is all about entrepreneurship, business, and I've got a few questions to ask you. I'm going to be bothering you, Nathan.
I look forward to it.
Look forward to it. So we're going to be asking you about your secret object that you took with you today.
Sure.
That you don't have on you, but just because we did something else. So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. See, you are one of those people. See, probably this is one of your secrets. You ask people and you make them comfortable, aren't you?
I don't know, do I?
So tell people where we met.
Well, we would have met in the Polo Club?
Somewhere, like a Brisbane club, I believe. But anyway, we met in one of these clubs.
Or a BJCC event.
BJCC, maybe. And so, for everybody like at home, he's also the president of the Brisbane Junior Chamber of Commerce. That is a network of professionals.
Yeah.
But before going there, I want to ask you, how difficult is business in general, with your knowledge of the territory and then in your sector? How difficult is business at the moment?
Very, very difficult. Absolutely, it's with what we're going through with COVID-19 and all of the shockwaves that are going through industries and businesses in general. It's really, really difficult. It's and you can see the stress that people are living with day to day.
Okay, so when did you start your company?
I started Talio in August of 2013.
Sorry, when in August?
When in August?
It wasn't the 29th, because that's my birthday.
It wasn't.
It's a gift for you.
No, it wasn't the 20th.
So, sorry, 20? Did you say 20? 14?
13.
13.
Yeah.
So 2013, so it's been like 7 years now.
Yeah.
And how was the journey? What was the challenge that you had when you started the business?
Yeah, it was a grueling journey. Definitely, starting my own business was that. So before starting my own business, I'd always worked for someone else. So I'd never been in a position of running my own business or making all of the decisions that are sort of all on you. When you do run your own business. So,
same sector?
Similar. Not exactly the same, but similar. So it's it was that first 12 months, that was grueling. That was taught me a lot about myself and my business and my skills and yeah.
Did you, now that you know what happened, did you expect the things that happened as soon as you opened, like the first months?
No way. No, there's so much you don't think about or realize that you have to think about, and the decisions that you need to make. Everything from, like, in the first few weeks, it was all about, the decisions were about like the name of your business and like the logo and the colors and all of that. So, and you're dealing with graphic designers and people that know all about that, and they have a million questions for you, and you're like, I never would have thought it would have been this in depth to do something like that.
Yeah.
But then it's just like that across every part of your business, from legals to accounting to finances to everything. Just has these layers and layers of complexity to them.
How important was networking for you?
Very, very important. Definitely.
People listening will know why I'm asking this, but how important was that? And was that the first option that you had? Like, was that the only option that you had in your head?
Yeah, to a large extent, because it's my business has always been based off the relationships that we built with prospective clients, current clients, suppliers, everyone. It's always very much about relationships, because we're in a service-based business. So often our clients, our customers, they don't have something physical that they can hold in their hand, like a phone or a computer or whatever it is, that they can go, well, that's a product, it's a service. So it's very intangible. So it so often comes back to relationships, and networking is a part of relationships. It's so often where you start a relationship from.
So I heard someone say that basically you are working towards not only about, it's not about money, but it's about legacy. What do you reckon? How do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's when you do take that journey into becoming a business owner and effectively, in the most part, really taking hold of your own future, because you're the one that makes so many decisions that are critical to tomorrow, next week, next month, the next decade. I think it definitely, legacy does play a role in that. Whether business owners actively think about it or not, there is some sort of a legacy that's being formed there every day.
Are you worried
about
everything in general?
I try not to. It's I think being a business owner does teach you that you should be worried about the stuff that you can control, but don't worry about the stuff that you can't control.
How do you do that?
You've got to.
It's difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a challenge, but you've got to be able to constantly get yourself back into that headspace of whether it's ruling out emotion and taking that out of the equation and looking at things from a like just very much a facts and figures point of view, and then assess it and analyze it, and then come to your decision and then back yourself with that sort of thing. But it's often really tough for a lot of people to do that.
So are you telling me that we should be eliminating emotions from the equation? Or because, like, for me, for example, I don't know, sometimes there's a project that, and the one that we did today was like, it felt so right from the beginning. As soon as you pitched to me, we'll talk about it, but we did something together. That's why he's wearing this amazing jacket. We are working on a charity project, and with a little bit of a twist, but also in collaboration with your organization. But there are some things that sometimes it feels so right, and what is the balance? Should we be using, for everybody listening, that we are all in our journey, maybe someone already been through it, they will comment and be like, nah, that's not it, or someone is just starting. What's the balance in between emotions and calculation?
Yeah, that's a really tough thing, and it's different person to person. I wouldn't say that you should remove emotion altogether, because then it's just very clinical, and you're just doing it all about the numbers. And then you become one of those business owners that's probably not really anyone wants to work with, just because. Yeah, absolutely, because they're just looking at the bottom line of it, sort of thing. So I think it's you've got to be able to weigh both. And for me, it's often I'll go through a scenario. So like with the project that we did, where initially I was operating on very high emotion with it, and I was thinking I really want to help, I really want to do whatever I can. So on and so forth, and then I had to sleep on it and then come back to it the next day and then put pen to paper and write it out as a strategic idea and be like, okay, where are the holes in it? What haven't I thought about? What could go wrong? What could go right? And then you can really blend the two. Then you can bring emotion into reality with it.
And to stay in the theme of what we did before, that's why drinking is being invented.
Absolutely.
No, I don't talk personally, but we know. So that's the challenge in the end, isn't it? The challenge is preparation. skills, and sometimes like what you see is just the tip of the iceberg, and it's true.
Absolutely.
We've been working on this little project together, and as small as it looks like, we don't know if it's going to be a success or not, because we're still working on it. But the preparation is if it's the work of a lifetime.
Yeah.
I don't know, is that something that you do in your, because you have like a ton of projects, like you've got your networking events, you have your you're an entrepreneur, so basically everything you do, you start with an idea and then you edit yourself, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you understand before, so not every idea is a good idea.
No. 100%. Yeah, it's and you've often got to go through a lot of bad ideas to get to good ideas as well, because it's so often I've been thrown around an idea and then it gets edited 2 or 3 or 4 times, and it takes a bad idea and turns it into a good idea as well. So you do have to be able to do that self-editing, or be in a scenario with a network of people or a group of people around you that you can throw ideas around and they can sort of shoot them down a bit at times and be like, no, that's not going to work because of this, because of that, and then you can change it up and then find the way that works.
So basically, I've got another question for you, because it's very important to go a little bit deeper in these relationships that you have.
Sure.
So show us the pin. So you got us like a little thing, and that's that's gonna be the picture for the vlog. You are the president of Brisbane Chamber of Commerce. Tell us more about it, how that happened.
Sure. So I went to my first BJCC event probably 6 years ago or so, and started networking with people and started to get to know some of the people within the committee. And then I was recruited to help with the BJCC through another organisation that I was helping, which was the Brisbane Club at the time. Because at the time my role there was head of the young members, and so I was asked to jump across and effectively give some advice to the BJCC and their current committee and president at the time, and then so that role morphed into I was called advisor for a little while, and then the committee went through a restructure and they created a vice president's role. So the president at the time asked me to put my hand up for it. I did that. No one else did. So I became vice president. And then
by default.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a win.
yeah.
Well, you have to take the world is such a horrible place sometimes. So we have to take every win that we can. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
And then a short while after that, the then president Christie, she left her job, decided to start a new business, moved to the Gold Coast, so went through like quite a big change in her life. So she left the BJCC, and then I was elected to become president, and have been in that role since.
The reason why I ask you to talk about this is because you are managing basically 2 different types of people. You have the people in an organization that puts you in charge of your peers. Mm-hmm. So basically, that is the BJCC. Mm. And then you have your own company where you are basically the boss. Yeah. Now, let's talk about BJCC first. Sure. How do you organize an organism that is not ruled by, how would I say, ranks?
Sure. Yeah.
How did you do that? How do you do it? And if you have any advice.
Yeah, it's much more complex than any other business, definitely, and it's more so about the interpersonal relationships within it, and it's often talking to everyone on the committee, and we also have ambassadors as well, and stakeholders and partners, and often you'll be talking about the same thing, but in a dozen different ways to translate it into the language that those people can understand, or to emphasize the points that resonate more with them. Because for us, if I pitch something at one of our partners, let's say UQ, who we do a bit of work with, they're going to want to hear a certain set of data and certain outcomes from their point of view that's completely irrelevant to what the committee is going to want to hear. Yeah. Because that's 2 sides of that coin. So that does make it really complex. Is that you have to be able to take whatever it is. Let's say it's an apple. You're talking about an apple. You have to be able to talk about that in different ways. Because some people are going to care about the look of the apple. Some people are going to care about the taste. Some people are going to care about where it was grown, where it came from. Some people are going to care about how much it costs. So you've got to be able to break all of that down and translate it for all of those people, because ultimately you need to get to a consensus. You need everyone to come with you. Whereas, and I know I've done it in the past, is the thing you don't want to do is you don't want to act effectively like a dictator, where you go, okay, here's what we're doing, here's the decision made, everyone get on board.
So the main difference basically is that it's more a political role.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's as much as I hate that word, it is a little bit more like that.
Well, being political means it's actually a good trait to have.
Sure.
And that's, in my opinion, it's what makes a successful person successful. That's one of the things that nobody talks about. You can be a dictator, and then this takes me to the other part of your life, that it's you being a business owner.
Sure.
And yes, you make all the decisions, but how much politics is involved also in that side of work?
Sure. It's I would say it's less, but it's in a different form as well at times. It's because you're the one that has that ultimate decision-making power, and because you're also taking responsibility of everyone else, because you have that decision-making power as well. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people do forget, is that often leaders are making those sorts of decisions for the greater good of everyone else, and they're accepting that responsibility of all those other people. Often people sort of think that they're just making decisions just for the hell of it, just because they have no idea what they're doing, and they felt they had to make a decision. So it is a lot different within my own business, making decisions, because you can. I feel like you probably have more of an opportunity to really lead from that, lead out from the front and make a decision, and then bring that through the rest of your team.
When you were working for someone, you probably were in charge of people. Now you are in charge of people, but with your own money.
Yep.
How different is the responsibility that you feel?
Yeah, hugely different. Absolutely. Yeah, it's and that's the thing. When you go into business for yourself, you add in that complexity of money as well, because everything needs money to survive.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm in the same thing. The value of the things that people do has a different value in your head, because you are more or less prepared to pay them more or less money.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a very bizarre thing that if you are not a business owner, you never understand.
Sure. Yeah.
Like the Apple. Yeah. The Apple can, it has a different cost depending on who's doing the job or how much value you give to that thing.
Yeah.
Is that something that
Absolutely.
you are?
Yeah.
Because
and then it's interesting seeing it. So my partner, she works for someone else, and so it's interesting seeing her perception of value at times as well. Is when, like the constant sort of discussion that we're always having is around like the value of, especially food, is that she's often always drawn to like sales. It's like a buy two get one free, and for me, I'm like, well, if it's an inferior product, why would you want to buy it anyway? You may as well just buy one of the thing that you really want, that's really good value, because then you'll enjoy it that much more.
That's an interesting take.
And so that's, and for me, I think that's a part of, because I've come through business, you start to, when you've been in business, even just for a few months, you can start to understand, you can start to see beyond a product or a service, and you can start to add up all the bills behind the business, and you can sit at a cafe and go, well, this is $5 they charge me.
But
and a lot of people
$2.50 goes this too.
Yeah, and a lot of people will go, well, how can they charge me $5 for a cup of coffee? It's only
how about you do it
10
at home?
cents of coffee. And then you go, well, hang on, but there's power and water and rates and real estate and staff and this and then you say, and then you start, for me, I go, it's really actually a very affordable thing that they've given to you, sort of thing.
Are you telling everybody that overall entrepreneurs are better people?
I don't know how we got there.
Anyway, one more question I've got for you. Sure. This is the difficult question time.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody that listens or watches the vlog, they always comment and they say to me, private message, they all want me to ask the same question.
Okay.
How do you deal as an owner on the subject of firing people.
Okay, sure.
It seems to be like one of those questions that everybody wants to know how someone else can solve your problem.
Sure.
And this seems to be one of the biggest one. How do you deal with that?
Sure. Yeah, it's I think it's the way that you approach that is really honestly probably how you should approach most stuff in your life, with how you present it to people, is be upfront and honest. Don't beat around the bush. Don't try and make it look like something that it isn't, sort of a thing. And I've had to go through this in both my business and also through BJCC. I have had to dismiss committee members at times. And the thing that I've learned from doing it over many years has been be clear, be to the point, be reasoned with it as well, is remove your emotion from it as well, because if you bring in emotion into it, then the person that's being dismissed or fired, they're going to quickly bring emotion into it as well. And that's where a lot of people will say the wrong thing. There'll be name calling, there'll be all sorts of bad blood. Whereas if you present it clearly and you say, okay, like you won't be in employment because you haven't performed or because we don't have a position for you or whatever, and you reason it out, then 9 times out of 10 people take it much, much, much better.
Curveball.
Sure.
A champion in his work. An absolute legend, but a dickhead. Would you fire him or her?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Because they are amazing with the customers, but
Sure.
there's literally no compatibility or whatever with you. Would you fire him? Or with the other colleagues?
Sure. Yeah, certainly, like, especially when it comes down to a team scenario, when like, I can appreciate that value of them being able to look after the clients and customers and all of that sort of stuff, but arguably it's more important if they get along better within the business as well, because they're the people that they're going to be working with for longer, and that's the business that creates.
So it's all about culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Culture is like your main thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going towards the end of this interview.
Sure.
I told you, that would have been quick.
One quick?
It went quick. But before we go,
sure,
I want you to give me 2 words. That one word is to describe where you at with your business, with your career, and the other one where you want to be. So 2 words that can describe your emotions.
Sure. Jeez.
I know. I'll put it on the spot.
No preparation for this one.
No.
So one word to describe
2
where
today,
I am now.
and 1 word for the future.
1 word for the future. Okay.
We can edit this part, you know. we can make it faster.
If I change my mind later. I would say for now,
yeah,
I'm optimistic.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah,
but it suits you.
Sure, thank you. And then the word for the future would be, I think, bring it back to what we spoke about before, is legacy.
Legacy.
Yeah.
Because it's important to do a good job and a great job.
Yeah, absolutely, and to be able to pass something down to those following as well.
We'll put the links below, but where can people find you, contact you, and like what would be? We are in Brisbane, but for all around the world, it's important that if you're watching this, a great person like Nathan will be very valuable for advices and stuff like that. Sure. So where can they find you?
Yeah. So probably the easiest way for most people to find me will be through LinkedIn. So just Nathan Schokker. There's not many of us anywhere at all
in the world.
Yeah, across the whole world. So and you're welcome to use the opening line of "You're a shocker," if you want. Okay. I've only heard it a couple of million times. So you can do that, or obviously you can jump on our business website, which is talio.com.au.
You were also that guy for a while.
I am.
So are you still that guy?
Yeah, I still have it on my LinkedIn. It's still there, and people still get a big kick out of it. And it's on my business cards and all of that sort of stuff. So,
can they go on the website of BJCC?
Yeah,
do you have to be from Brisbane, or they can? Yeah.
No. So, and actually, we're working on a digital membership platform as well. That will be open to anyone, and they can get plenty of value out of it. even if they can't make it to a physical event, and even if they're not in Brisbane.
Quickly, what do you talk about in this kind of stuff? Because I already know what kind of events you do with BJCC.
Sure, yeah.
Wait, it's mostly drinking. But
No. So we mix it up a fair bit between professional and personal development.
Yeah.
So we've done events, everything from like the future work and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
I've seen photography, headshots.
Yeah, absolutely. We've done stuff on like how to start your own business as well. So sort of going into that entrepreneurial mindset. We've done events around like wine and cheese tasting as well. We've got a virtual event coming up in 2 weeks' time that's going to be a chocolate tasting, so that people can sit at home and enjoy.
Sorry, who's having the chocolate?
Well, everyone at home.
Everybody's having chocolate. Okay, cool.
So we partnered up with a local confectionery shop,
nice.
And they can they'll be able to ship out packs of chocolate, so people can sit along and watch a master chocolatier take them through all the different flavors and profiles of chocolate.
And that's literally like how torture is made. Anyway, Nathan, thank you so much for your... I know that you have a busy schedule, so thank you so much for coming.
Thank
and
you.
This is going to be very valuable for everybody at home. So for everybody listening or watching, see you soon. Ciao.
Bye.